I am excited to be here all the way from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm going to spend the next hour talking about culture as a competitive advantage, and specifically focus on things you can do to influence culture and impact the performance of your business. And as we get into the conversation, I really have two overarching objectives for our time together. First and foremost, I do want to give you some hard notes, some solid takeaway, or what I refer to as actionable content. So when you get back into the office next week, you'll have some ideas for implementation that can accelerate performance. So that's the first objective. The second objective I have is I want us to have a little bit of fun. I know we're on day 2, a lot of content, a lot of socializing, big ideas. And I always think you get more out of sessions like this when you actually take an active role or engaged and participate. So I will prompt just a moment or two of participation as we go through the talk this morning, and I appreciate your engagement, support, and cooperation in advance. Just a little bit of additional background on me, if you hadn't already heard enough. I actually refer to myself today as a recovering ad agency executive. So I spent the bulk of my career inside a company called McCann World Group, where the last 10 years I was there, I was there we go, there's McCann. I was serving as the Chief Strategy Officer for a division that predominantly focused on internal communication. So we would carefully analyze trends and evolution with respect to the way we connect, communicate, and collaborate to accomplish meaningful work. And I want to get us going here with a little exercise that I think will illustrate some of the shift or change we're experiencing. And what I'd like to ask everybody to do, if you have a phone on you, just pull it out. And you can go ahead and leave it on silent or vibrate. But I want to shift the paradigm a bit and just ask everybody to turn it on. And what I want us to do is consider the opportunity we have right here in this room to impact and influence people we want to care about, or people we care about with our thinking and our ideas. And our conference has actually set us up to do that. So what I want to encourage you to do is to check in on Foursquare and then live tweet this keynote. And you can use my Twitter handle, @RyanEstis, and the hashtag #ACCE12, and we can communicate all of the good work going on here with the people we want to influence. Now, for those of you that are holding your phones and have no idea what the hell I just said, I'm going to give you a prompt or two on why it may be important to consider as we move forward. This conversation is one that's very directed toward the future of work and navigating some of the change and complexities that we're experiencing in our business today. And I think any time you talk about the future, you have to create some understanding or awareness around the trends that are having impact. And so I want to touch on a few very high-level mega trends relative to what we're experiencing today. And the first one is probably no surprise given the landscape that we've just lived through, the Great Recession. 70% of our workforce today is classified as under-engaged. So 1 out of 6 people lost their job in the Great Recession. No surprise, but certainly a challenge and also an opportunity. And if you look at that number next to this next one, Human Capital Institute, only 20% of employees today are classified as well suited for their roles. So as business changes, we're all going to need to consider the skills and competency we need to continue to sustain an advantage. And of course, compound those first two statistics, and no surprise that over half of the workforce today, and these are employed professionals, are intent on finding a new job. Now, that's the kind of commentary that starts to keep the C-suite up at night. And you think about 1 out of every 2 employees would prefer to be working somewhere else. And these insights are starting to gain attention in the C-suite. Recent CEO survey from Right Management indicated that the #1 challenge of C-level leaders